Oh no, I pushed the R button. My hotkey meant I ran forwards into Lion's Arch. You might be very confused. We started really late, and we're also not in the southern Shiver Peaks. Marwol, what's going on? Who are you? Who are these two other people in the party? Who are... Well, what's going on in general? This is going to be a very different, very strange Guild Wars stream, because I ended up being delayed in doing a lot of things off stream, so I'm not... We might not hit story things today, but we are here for a reason, technically. It's to actually go to Bergen Hot Springs. Let's just Lion's Arch. The two in my party are heroes, and this is probably going to be the stream where I talk a lot about things we haven't been able to talk about because we're stuck on Prophecies. Unknown, hello, welcome in. Congratulations on the first. Give you a quick shout out. But remember how I've pointed out a few times that there's collectors who collect things and give you things if you collect the things? Case in point, there's a collector right here. Milne. Well, there's a roaming collector that appears in different parts of the game every week. And this week, he has appeared right under where my mouse is. I can't zoom in, unfortunately, we're on the world map. He will give you 5 things per week, but his requirement of what he has changes, and it usually depends on where he is. So, at the moment, he wants... Do I have any? I don't have any. He wants Hardened humps, which come from Ettins, and if you remember when we first came to Cwningen, we ran through this way, and we ran over this way. Ran around. Lots of running in Cwringen. We fought Ettins, and sometimes they dropped humps. I have already handed in 3 sets of humps. 2 per item we get. And what he gives us is known as the Gift of the Traveler, which is basically a loot box. I can obtain 2 more, and then we'll probably go do something else, because there's no point me gathering any more on stream. Even if I was to sell them to other players, I wouldn't want to do that here. That's just a waste of everyone's time, and no one wants to see me run. You'll see the route we're going to be running for this farming in a second. But he can give various different items. I think I've got some still here in the inventory. Yeah, I've got like the mysterious tonics. Basically, he gives you party things, right? But Marwol, why does anyone care if it's all party things? Because he also gives you unique items you can't get from anywhere else. For example, there are 3 weapons he could give, and we want any of them. He also gives a unique pet, but I don't care too much about the pet. This is also something else we can get from him. Little disco ball. The other upside as well is that this farming thing has actually resulted in, you know, getting some money out of this. You may notice I have some materials all over the place as well. I'll explain that as well. But this is basically going to be the... Marwol sort of goes more in depth on mechanics that nobody really cares about stream, rather than a story one. So, completely understandable if you skip it. I don't think it's going to go for very long. Might be like only a few, like 2 hours. If we decide to start doing anything story, then we'll probably only do 1 mission, because we have to go from Drochnar's Forge somewhere. I don't know where. Maybe confused why this part of the map is revealed. It's because the Traveler was previously in the Ice Dome, which just so happened to line up when we finished the stream last time. I was like, I wonder where Nick is, and he was there, so I went to go see him. And then realized, oh boy, I actually have a chance of getting some things out of this. So, yeah, that's sort of the goal for this one, is get 2 more items from Nick, get disappointed because I'm not going to have the RNG I want, and then we'll figure it out. So, as for these 2, these are mercenaries. These are my other level 20 characters. You may recognize them from when we accidentally panned past them on any of the loading starter streams when I've had the character screen open. Their classes are not going to be familiar to anybody because they are Ritualist, Elementalist Ritualist for Kenezareth Jones, and Ritualist Monk for Remnaz Tonier. Ritualist as a factions class is one of the 2 unique ones, and it is based around the idea of spirits. Knazareth Jones is set up to be more offense, with summoning spirits that deal damage, blind enemies, and then he himself deals damage based on the spirits nearby. Meanwhile, Remnaz Tanir is set up to be the best healer protection combo that I could possibly make at the moment, because I don't really have any great skills in that area to begin with. But he is able to heal for conditions. He's able to throw down Union, which flat out reduces the damage we take. He can remove hexes. He has Word of Healing. Yes, that skill that was really annoying me on Dunes of Despair. He's got it. He's also got Healing Ribbon to heal large members of the party. He's fantastic, you'll see. And the reason I've done this is because the henchmen here are too low a level for me to reliably farm this with reduced amount of people in it. Marwol, why would you do this? You don't actually get everything that drops. If you have henchmen or heroes, and something drops, there is a chance it goes to the NPC. If it goes to the NPC, you are not allowed to have it. You are not allowed to see it even drop. So, the reason the reason we're doing this is because this is the smallest viable group I can run at the moment. Obviously, we'll get into the intricacies of farming and solo farming later on. Because, as I say, this is the stream where Marwol talks about mechanics that no one cares about. But basically, by reducing the amount of people in the party, I increase the chances that I get rolled for the items that drop, which means that we are more likely to see really nice things. We're not going to see fantastic things, and this is the spawn set that we need. What do I mean by spawn set? Basically, every time you load into an area, the way that enemies are placed is different in what I would call spawn sets. So, for example, if you walk out of the Bergen Hot Springs, you see an undead horseman, go back in, because the Ettins are not where you want them to be, which is down here fighting the Tengu. Now, you can sit back, you can wait. The Tengu will, I'm pretty sure, always lose to the Ettins, but also some of the Ettins will die in the process, but this gives me time to sort of demonstrate, hey, look, enemies do infight. We've seen it sometimes, we haven't really seen it a lot, but this is a case where it really helps us out. Looks like all the Ettins up here are going to be fine. The ones down there might get a bit bashed. And that's a lot of Ettins. That is a lot of Ettins. You may also notice my skill bar is a bit different. That's because I can actually afford to go full offense, fully commit to just dealing damage. The skills we've got here are Griffin Sweep, so if we get blocked like fighting Tengu, then we knock them down. We have Power Attack, we got an Adrenaline based, just deal damage, and Seeking Blade, where if I get blocked, I deal damage and they bleed, so I don't have to worry too much about anything. And you can see as well as the heroes do their thing, I can turn on abilities, I can stop them from using other abilities. A lot more control, a lot more power than would be allowed with the henchmen. Even before we take into account that henchmen, as far as I know, don't usually hybrid, as in like they don't have two classes, they normally just stick to one. And this, I wouldn't say would be as easy to do if we just had, like, say, Alessia and Orion. But, yeah, you see, the spirits here sort of do their attack. What we got here? Bloodsong and Pain. Yeah, they both just steal health. Well, one steals health, one deals damage, but they both basically do the same thing. And we didn't get lucky with anything here, but... Oh, those two Tengu. Those two Ettins even down there did die. What a shame. This guy, Nicholas the Traveller, is the one we need to get the humps for, which we don't have yet. Which is a bit of a shame. I was hoping we get at least one to drop there, but so we're just here to relax. He is Hardened humps, that's what he's looking for. He's looking for them in pairs of 2. You can hand in multiple items to Nicholas at once, which is really nice. As I say, he only gives you 5 sets, so in this case, if you have 10 humps, you can hand in all 10 humps to begin with, and it's fine, it's perfect, and off you go. I also mentioned as well, you can farm these things and get money for it by selling it to other players, but I don't really have a reason to. And there's two different paths I like to take while fighting, or I guess farming the Ettins. There's this path which runs past the bog, which is why we have the remove hex, or cure hex even. So I get healed and we also remove the hex. Pretty nice combination. And the other route is, if I want to fight the Tengu, we go that way. And then we have the chance to get feathers, which is a crafting material, which sells for a good amount. There's chances as well that we get runes, which is actually kind of where all of these runes have come from, is, well, fighting the Tengu. Should be, yeah, there's an Ettin over here. They're usually in pairs, so if there's one here, there should be another one. Wherever it... No, oh, you're all by yourself. Shame. But, yeah, we take 0 damage for as long as Union is alive. I'm not going to go into the specifics of how the spirits work. I'm going to leave that for when we actually get to factions, because then it's sort of easier to explain Ritualist, but for the time being, all you need to know is it throws down spirits. If they're offensive, they act like turrets. If they're defensive, they just do something in a really large area. You can see that we're way away from Union right now, and it's got that wide of a range. About double, triple the aggro radius, which is really nice. But to sort of hop off of rambling about really boring mechanics at the moment, Unknown, I know you had some problems earlier with your computer. Hopefully they're not happening still. Unfortunately, I think everything on your stream sort of went south around the time that I had to really focus on work, and for some reason Twitch decided to stop or crash. I don't know why. It's a shame. But Unknown has been playing through Songs of Six, which is, as far as I can tell, Dwarf Fortress, but more set in like fantasy Rome. And it's been fun to watch. They've been learning how it plays. Yeah, see, if we have just the henchman here, we'd be wiped. But I have full faith in the powers of my 2 hero henchmen, sorry, mercenaries, that we can get through this. And we should be able to, you know, everything's sort of going fine, and yeah, they have health, but they don't really have any damage, and as long as, I mean, Nazareth Jones has run out of energy, but that's actually okay. Because Shadow Song has just gone down. Shadow Song inflicts blind, so whichever one of these gets blinded basically doesn't deal any damage. We've seen how blind affects us. Affects them even worse. I've run out of energy because I didn't keep up Warrior's Endurance. Yes. And look at that. The power of henchmen. Sorry, heroes. I'm so used to saying henchmen because it's basically all we use. When we get back to doing the actual, like, story stuff, I'm gonna not be using the heroes because we haven't actually unlocked any, and I'm not going to be using the henchmen outside of, well, this. But there are ways to farm without using either heroes or henchmen. Basically, there's a thing called solo farming, and different professions have different levels of ease when it comes to solo farming. Warrior, weirdly, actually has a really easy way into it. It takes a bit of doing. Basically, there's an idea with Warrior Monk, where kind of the same way that Union is reducing the damage we take to 0, there's a combination of skills you can use that will reduce the physical damage. I don't know if it counts for spells or anything else. Oh, it's got another Etin hide I don't care about. And basically you sit there, you take 0 damage, and you just group kill everything by doing AoE damage. So there's a few different ways to do that. I think there's an elite skill that makes it so that every time you hit an enemy, you also hit every other nearby enemy. I don't know if that stacks with itself, i.e. if you hit 3 enemies, you then deal all damage to all enemies 3 times. I don't know if that's quite how that works. Because it's a skill that I've never seen. I just know it exists. But oh, if we had that sort of fit build, we could do this without having the 2 henchmen or heroes. And that would mean all of any drop would go straight to us, and we wouldn't share the gold, so our income would just improve generally anyway. We could make 40-50 gold every time. The fact there's only 3 in the party means we're only splitting it 3 ways, not 6. It's another reason why it's a good idea to run the numbers down a bit. And the reason we're running around at the moment is because, partially because I'm lost and I went the wrong way around this hill, but also because I want to go fight those Tengu to potentially get some feathers. Oh! There's one Etin over here. Rip Etin. Because I don't think even we could take on that whole group as the way it is. Well, I guess we're about to find out. If we die here, it's fine. We could just go back to Burton and the hot springs even. And it'll be okay. Oh, we're going to get some heavy armor out of this. We need those materials for armor for the warrior. I know it says it hasn't happened again yet. It's normally every few days or weekly at the moment. But annoying as hell thing is if it's the things I think are screwed, then they're screwed because they can't afford either of them, so they're hoping it's something else. Unfortunately, it's probably one of those 2. Yeah, we're gonna go down here. I'm gonna go grab this. And that's Scalp. And we're just gonna go back to Bergen. Now, a thing that I've started... I'll finish my thoughts with Unknown in a second. I've recently been just sort of salvaging the collectible for the Tengu, because every single one gives me 3 feathers. And feathers tend to sell for a lot. The last time I sold them in bulk, they were going for like 300 gold each. As in like stacks of 10, so 300 per stack of 10. You sell 2 stacks, which is 20, I can do. And you have 25 uses of salvage kit, so 3 each. That means if you get 7 scalps, you've paid for a salvage kit with extra uses. It's slow money, but it's good money. I appreciate it. And sometimes they just drop feathers as well. I've seen them drop up to, I think, 10, but usually around 3 to 6. Maybe 7. As for Unknown's tech issues, unfortunately, like, since it's not the RAM, I think it is the CPU or the motherboard. If it was the GPU, it would have... the Windows hardware thing would have said PCI, I'm pretty sure. Which would then be, you need a new GPU. But because it's doing that weird thing where it says it's the boot code, because everything keeps locking up in the way that it is, I think it's CPU or motherboard, which is a shame. Especially because thanks to the AI, that beautiful thing that a lot of people don't want, and then other people are zealously for it. Oh look, we got the wrong one. We go back in. That's a Necrid Horseman. We don't care. We don't run this area. We run back in. And then we run back out. And no Necrid Horseman, so we're good to go. It's just that easy. Welcome to the joys of instanced combat. So, well, there's a run over here and I'll catch up again. Did I just aggro the... Nope. You can also farm the skeleton rangers, I think. There's a way to do it. There's a really easy way to do it if you're a mage. Oh, maybe that's what we'll do after we finish the thing, is I'll go to one of the secondary profession quests. There we go. Enemies are split out a bit weird here. We're going to have to fight through the tango here. But, yeah, thanks to, you know, RAM being bought up for AI data centers and all that fun stuff, GPU prices are skyrocketing because there's not enough memory chips to go around. DDR5 is skyrocketed because there's not enough RAM to go around, and companies keep going under for it. Well, refusing to sell commercial or to customers. They'll only do it through, like, agreements with corporations. Yeah, it's really annoying to get any new components for anything right now. It's kind of funny the way that no one's future-proofing has accidentally happened because RAM listing is getting jumped. Let's see if we can stop that. Look at that, we're even, like, bottomed out on energy. We're still fine. I mean, the character I'm playing isn't bottomed out on energy. But both the casters are, but they're both fine. And then the spirits are still dealing their damage. Hi, could you not do that, please? And more Ettins just keep on coming. It's like a clown car at the moment. But you can just chew through them. Get through them eventually. See? Again, the AI henchmen scale to the area that they're in wouldn't be able to do this. Union going down is a real big help here because that just basically negates most of the damage coming in. See? A lot of breathing room there. And this is fine. Just don't panic. Chew through it. I'm gonna get about 40 gold out of this. I keep getting Ettin. I don't want Ettin hide. I don't want Ettin's Portion either. I'm getting literally everything except the one thing I want. But hey, we got paid. That's nice. This time we're actually going to punch through this way so we actually maybe get some feathers out of this. Oh, hello, Necromancer. Yeah, we're okay. Ah, someone's found the new Samradine. It's Cass. Welcome in, Cass. This is going to be a very... I don't know how enjoyable this is going to be for a stream of Guild Wars, but we're sort of just trying to get 4 more Hardened humps pulled. And then after this, we're probably going to go do a profession swap quest. We're going to go do the monk one. So we have access to monk. I don't know if I'm going to do any of the other ones. We'll see. Also, if you're wondering why I have a character running around who casts spells using a sword, it's not because Ritualist are melee based. It's because, remember that really nice axe I got that was like all the way in the desert? Hello. And I went, oh, this is nice. This is really good for Ritualists. Well, hey, Kid Nazareth Jones has that axe. It makes his spirits a little bit healthier, so they can resist a bit more damage and they can tank a bit more. Hello. Cal says they did find the shiny bots in EM and they were playing Deadlock. I think you were enjoying that one. I remember when I came back. No, I got it confused for a different day. Monday, I think Unknown raided into you and you were just starting Deadlock, I think. I think you were on your transition screen showing your very deserved 0% achievement for Lords of the Fallen. Because, as we know, Cass is the best Lords of the Fallen and Lords of the Fallen player. I can't remember, have you got Lords of the Fallen too? Yeah, that's it. Keep blocking me, it's fine. I have 2 attacks that go through it. Oh, see, this is what I mean. We get some really nice things. Axe Mastery is pretty. Armor plus 10 while attacking is quite nice too. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I think I know we go up here and we fight the Etin. And then we basically just, you know, go the same way except then backwards. Or we just don't, and that means we don't have to deal with the scales. This sort of, like, farm is pretty chill. There's another thing I haven't spoken about. I don't think I've actually spoken about it in detail, but I've mentioned, oh, we have the Favor of the Gods, and then not really got into it. If I type Favor, we have 56 minutes of Favor of the Gods remaining. There is a really interesting mechanic. It involves titles. Every time someone achieves a title, I'm going to call it a point. A point of favor is gained. When you reach a certain threshold, you then gain the Favor of the Gods for the game for however long. It's usually an hour, and then it improves as more people get more titles and more points. During Favor of the Gods, drop rates of higher, rarer things are vastly improved. Gold items, of which we've seen very, very few, largely because they drop more often in later game areas, and I'm gonna say this without knowing it myself because I've never got to a hard mode, but I think we also drop more often in hard mode difficulty zones regardless. If you have Favor of the Gods, you also greatly improve your chances again of getting really nice items, like gold weapons. So, basically what I'm saying is, if you can do any sort of farming during Favor of the Gods, you probably should, if you're trying to get like a specific thing, or something that's really hard to get. We're just sort of trying to get Hardened humps, and the Ettins apparently are the smoothest creatures we've seen all game. Ignore the polygon count. Still just coins. But again, we don't have to worry too much about just not getting what we want. We can just keep doing this again and again and again, and you know, the money keeps coming in and the gold keeps going up, and sometimes we get really nice things like that purple armor, which is probably because of Thing of the Gods, Favor of the Gods. So it's fine. You can just keep going. I'm only gonna fight the Etanovi. I'm not gonna fight the Tengu. Cal says they're a bit tired, but they got news. Aside from getting WWE 2026 tomorrow, as in like later in the day. That reminds me, I need to check Humble Bundle. I don't know. Oh, because I keep getting WWE through Humble Bundle. There should be a new Humble Choice today, and I need to see if there's anything there. what I want, and then start seeing what I'm going to hand out. To finish Kaz's message, aside from getting WWE 2026 tomorrow, aka later in the day, they got news, they got tickets for WWE Clash in Italy. They have to go help out the event. Have to go help out with the events like the meet and greet, but it's big news. That's, knowing that you're like a huge fan of WWE, that's pretty good. Congratulations, Kaz. I don't really know too much about the wrestlers at the moment. The only things I really know are like memes of like everyone thirsts over Rhea Ripley. The Rey Mysterio's son is around, I guess. The Rock keeps reappearing. I say I don't really follow WWE that well. I just know specific wrestlers and others not so much. Like, you know, I know Randy Savage, John Cena, or Chaina, judging by the video I got introduced to yesterday about the, I think it was a Spanish or Italian. I think it was Italian. I think the Italian flag was on his chest. Italian wrestler just pronouncing his name as Chaina, because apparently he deliberately mispronounces people's names. But yeah, outside of those like handful of things, I don't know too much about it. But that knowing that you do like it a lot, that's really good news. I hope you enjoy it, even if it is partly working in order to stay there. I hope you have fun. Kels also says the Lords of the Fallen 2. Which one? The one that is named Lords of the Fallen 2, or the one that gained a sequel as the Lord of the Fallen 2? That's a trick question. It's the Lords of the Fallen 2. Kels also says they enjoy Deadlock, they just need to find the 4 they like the best. That's a Necroid Horseman. Back in we go. Not a Necroid Horseman. Back out we go. It's sort of funny to me that with Favor of the Gods up, I think I'm getting less humps than one that isn't around, because the table is then skewed towards trying to give me rarer things. I'm gonna fight you first. The other nice thing as well is the Etids are just a high enough level that Tic-Tac-Toe does get a little bit of experience here. The downside is that Tic-Tac-Toe needs to be level 20 before I swap my profession out, so we'll see how that pans out for me in general. Oh, an Etid. And here come a few more. Fine. Yeah, so you beating up Union was absolutely fine, because you weren't beating up anybody else who actually gets healed. Meanwhile, I get to beat you up all I want. And if my health drops below half, the hero's smart enough to do Word of Healing, and then look how much it heals me. I've been saying it multiple times during this playthrough that if I broke the rule and used heroes and used my mercenaries, especially, that this game would be a lot easier. And it's not just because they're level 20. Sure, I'd have to gear them up. Apart from their armor, I believe their armor does scale. Yeah, the armor scales. But still. I could do a lot more with these than henchmen. Sure. Remnaz, by far, is a more capable healer than Alessia could ever be, as far as I know. Maybe at level 20 now she has some... Maybe she has access to maybe like Word of Healing as well. But that is something we will just have to see. I still haven't got any humps. We're gonna fight through the Tengu again. Casters Lords of the Fallen 2, the one named it, is not out. They did a pencil in the request on Press Engine, but I don't ever get it. But still, you miss all the shots you don't take. Hopefully, you do get it. Hopefully, they recognize you as being worthy of. I wish the achievements you got in a game would help, like, leverage being able to get early access for games that you're a big fan of. For example, like in this case, you are one of the 0% that has achieved a really, really difficult thing in Lords of the Fallen. So it would be nice if, as recognition of that you did get like maybe an early version of, or an early release even, for Lords of the Fallen 2. But that unfortunately isn't going to happen. In terms of like, hey, congratulations on the achievement. I think way back in like the early days, it was possible to be like, hey, look, I'm really good at this game. Would you like to maybe give me an early copy? But I'm talking like the days where people would rack up like high scores in arcades and then become famous for being like really good at Tetris or whatever. Like that guy who cheated at Pac-Man. Oh no, wait, was it Pac-Man or Tetris? He cheated at one of them. Not sure. I keep using the 2 anti-block abilities back to back. And I shouldn't do that. Same as I'm getting absolutely decayed right now. Who are you healing? Because it sure isn't me. Are you healing the spirit? Well, either way. I'm not quite sure what was going on there. We got bones is a bit of a weird material to pull off of these guys, but hey, look, that's another 6 feathers right there. Brings me to 39, that's quite nice. Now we're just going to hang fire for a second here, let the energy regen. Sip of my beautiful apple juice. Ice and apple juice makes it really nice and crisp. Guesses they were 0% the last... They were 0%. Percentage got a bit higher last they checked. Currently 0.3% for the secret boss on Veteran and 1% for finishing the game on Veteran. Well, hey, at least you're still 0.3% on that one. And I think they both be classed as rare achievements regardless. So... But you've also got the fact you did it way before the others as well. You were one of the first ones in. I was debating playing Cave Story tonight, or Space Marine 2. I got another feather core. How am I getting the collectible off of the Tengu, but I'm not getting it off of the guy that I want to get it from? How does that work? Square is not what I want. You okay back there? Hey, I'd quite like to have Stealing Gods, they're kind of rare. A lot more expensive to buy those than it is anything else. Come on, I have to get at least one hump this time, right? Surely. Maybe. We'll see. It's funny, yesterday I managed to get 6 relatively quick. Like 30, 40 minutes. We've been at this for 40 minutes-ish, and we just need 1. It's just how RNG is sometimes. Okay, that I will take. What are you? Domination. For a Mesmer. I do have a Mesmer hero, but I don't remember if they're Domination. And we're also not using that hero at the moment, so... Moot point. Can't just check very easily while I'm here in the field. Speaking of here in the field, that's 4 Ettins right by the windmill. No, that's a watchtower, not a windmill. Kind of like Don Quixote would not be able to identify what a thing is. I know there's an Ettin fighting the other 2 right now, but I'm pretty sure they can take it by themselves. Yep, that's dead. I don't have to touch that. Oh, but these ones... These ones I definitely have to mess with. Maybe it's because Nick is in play that they're like, no, we're not going to give you any. But I actually do think it might be related to the fact that Favor is still going for another 47 minutes. Now, a foolish idea would be to go do the profession change quest now. The reason it'd be foolish is it means I would basically be wasting these 47 minutes where I could maybe get a few more runes. I doubt I'm going to see a gold weapon. I mean, I'm here in Kryta and everything here is like level 12 or 15. Maybe we'd see a gold weapon of use if we go do the profession. But... we'll stick with this. Ah, finally, a Hardened hump. We did finally get one on this one. Now we just need 3 more. Let's keep the endurance going. Just keep hacking and whacking and smacking, and we're gonna keep chopping that meat. That's a strength tower shield. Have I got a really nice one? Yeah, no, sorry. There's a gold item that we probably picked up. I think we did get that in the desert. For the longest time we had a shield that wasn't of any use to us. Oh, improved sale value is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Glut Wallet, by the way, has no skills of note. They are all basic warrior skills that you can pick up through quests. I think even quests you get even before you run into Glut. Come on, fall down. Fall down. Okay, that's it for the Ettins, so you know what that means. We go back. I think if I do /resign, we teleport back and here by the gateway, but this area is so small, I'm not trying to like hyper-optimize everything. So we'll just keep going with this. That's a Necrid. Go back in. I wonder if it's every other time I go out is going to be Necrid. Or if it's just, that's how the RNG is being. We'll see. Let's talk about YouTube. Yeah, we're gonna talk about YouTube. So, as of today, the Clock Tower video should have been released like half an hour ago. And that means that there is no, apart from the Witcher video, there's nothing left in backlog. Hopefully this week, if I have time, I'm going to start working through the YouTube Shorts. At last count, before this stream, there are approximately 380 timestamps that I have to review to see if they're any good for shorts. If we apply... I can't remember the name of the rule, but there's a rule in statistics where you assume that half of all data is valuable. Or you can assume that half of all data is valuable. Again, I don't remember what it's called. It's been a while since I've had to do statistics. I didn't do Warrior's Endurance before I did the swing. That's gonna slow this down a bit. Anyway. 380, half of that is 140. So that's roughly, assuming I do get half of the timestamps that are useful for shorts, 140 days worth of shorts. Which is gonna be... Shorts are kind of quick to do. I basically do them on a rotation so that you don't get, like, you usually shouldn't get anyway, the same games short in a row. So for example, if I have Guild Wars, Witcher, and Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, it is probably going to rotate in that order until, say, Battlestar Galactica Deadlock runs out, in which case it'll be Guild Wars into Witcher, into Guild Wars into Witcher, into... You get the idea. 140 days, that's a lot of games. I'm not quite sure how the rotation for that is going to work. It's probably going to work in batches of whatever I put them up as. And we'll figure it out from there. But if for whatever reason you're somehow seeing this and you only really watch the short content, A, I greatly appreciate you watching a longer form video than the short one. B, the people who prefer shorts are going to end up getting their shorts soon. I don't think there's been a short that... I've got, I think, 5 that I've just left in draft. Because it feels kind of worse to do 5 days of shorts and then nothing, as opposed to when it all gets back into gear and it keeps on flowing. In which case that'll be, as I hopefully, somewhere around 140 days. Not counting anything we pick up after this. Hello, we're going to go this way, because I only have the one hump. If I had 2, I'd go that way and fight the Drake. But we don't, so we're going to go this way. But yeah. Assuming nothing goes wrong and I don't end up like another month or 2 where I basically can't stream, shorts hopefully should keep going for pretty much all the year. Raggy, I swallowed an ice cube. I'm gonna have to dumpster the Elementalist as fast as possible. Alright, now that we've dealt with the big problem, thankfully the spirits can't be blocked. The only thing here that gets blocked is me and Knazareth when he goes into melee. Hey, Knazareth doesn't really have the energy right now, but that's fine. The Tengu, unless they swarm us, are not particularly dangerous. Because the degeneration from the Mesmer is about the only thing they have that's threatening. I'm actually going to sit here and wait. Horrific amount of degen there. Horrific. Okay. That's fine. Let's go. Now, I mentioned before, I think it was last stream, maybe the stream before that, about the, that there's 2 quests we have to do to get 15 extra attributes for each quest, so 30 total. Hi, I like that rubber band, that was great. We've done one of them. It was finding that snake and then surviving, for lack of a better term, with the hydras. The other quest requires us to have actually completed any quest that allows us to change profession, which also requires us to have first ascended. Focusing in a little bit here to try and get through that. I'm now gonna go just dumpster this wild. There we go. I'm gonna worry about the hexes anymore. Yeah, so we have to do the profession quest in order to actually get access to the other attribute one. So depending how painless the secondary profession change quest goes, we'll see about maybe doing that as well. It's kind of weird though, you don't necessarily need to actually do the quest to change profession. There's a bit of a workaround, which I'll show it off. Every game we play where I know there's an exploit or a trick or something, I try to show it. We'll show it in this game too. I don't know if the oversight is intended, or if it just got added in later and people went, yep, we're going to keep it. But basically, we only need to get flagged for finishing one of the change secondary profession quests. We don't necessarily need to do it for all of the secondary professions, and the workaround means I could change my profession to something that is in Prophecies. We're not going to be doing that either. Ads, unfortunately, arriving about 25 seconds. But if you've been with us for the last, 50 minutes, you kind of know what's coming for the next 3 minutes of ad, which is I'm going to be hitting Ettins again and again and again, getting very confused when I don't get any hardened humps. Yeah, I thought it was just bog scale that way. Now, one of the nice things I like is, despite the fact that I want, hopefully, to get... It's going to be funny if I don't get it. Well, it's going to be pretty standard if I don't get it, actually. The item I want from Nick. I don't necessarily really have to do any of this. I could just continue the story. I could just do anything else. Because again, this isn't a MMO. This isn't grind numbers and... Well, I say it given what I'm doing, but bear with me on this. It isn't just grind numbers to get bigger numbers to then grind more numbers to get bigger numbers. We've sort of reached the pinnacle of what we can grind. And at this point it's like, I want a slightly better weapon. I know we can get it from this place, but we can also get it from a bunch of other places. For example, Southern Shiver Peaks actually gives a variation of one of the weapons that Nick can give us. And if I really wanted to, given that we have Favor of the Gods, we could just go farm it there instead. But I want to see if we can get it through Nick. And if we don't, maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe it will turn up in one of the future streams of Guild Wars we end up doing. Or whatever. But we don't... The weapon isn't vital to what we need to do. It is entirely built around... Oh, no pun intended. How well we do is reliant on the build. The skills, the attributes, how we use them, how everything works together. No, we don't really use a ranger that much apart from having a bit of extra damage and another distraction from tic-tac-toe. Although I do love my lizard. And we're going to... I don't think I'm going to do the solo farming on stream if we ever get around to being in a position to do that. I might show it as an example once, but it's not going to be like this where we sort of just sit here and ramble about different things while we run around and massacre the local Etin population. Excuse me, Etin. Stop healing yourself. My damage output could be better. Yeah, a lot of my things could be better. Yeah, I'd really love it if Knazareth Jones stopped running away. I'd also appreciate if we get another hump, but there's only, I think, one group of Etins left. Yeah, Glut Walloping too. And I was really hoping we'd be able to get another hump here. That way on the next run I could show the gift of the Traveler. But let's say, a really weird luck for this one where we only received one Hardened hump, but multiple of the Kuromi scalp feathers. Weirdly no feathers though, we did get bones. Oh, we got double drops off of Glut there. If you get caught by the ads, congratulations, all you missed was not getting another Hardened hump. And we didn't get another one. Let's see, is it every other time I set foot out that we see a Necrid and have to re-roll it? I think in the interests of time, not going to be fighting our way through the Tango anymore. No, it is actually just random, 50-50. Alright. So this time, as I say, we're not going to go the normal way we've just done for the last few attempts. What are you? Oh no, I've got ghouls. So, I'm pretty sure you guys are fragile, so this should be pretty quick. Wise Spot, welcome in. Hope you're having a good week so far. Wise Spot says, Tango do drop feathers and scalps. The downside to appearing an hour in is I'm fully aware. This is where most of my feathers are coming from. And it's also where the runes have been coming from as well. Excuse me? Oh, you're fighting the Etins down there. That's fine. I'm gonna go fight this wild then. Because that's probably going to help tip things in the favor of the Etins not getting slaughtered. The more Etins we kill, the more likely we're going to get a hump. See? Scalp. Which means I get another 3 feathers. This is... Actually, this is fine now, because the Tango will focus on us. The Etins are kind of going to swarm us, but we should be fine. I mean, every other time the Etins have swarmed us, we've been okay. We just need to get through Tengu first, because they're just going to weirdly be more of a pain to get through than the Ettins. Oh, here come the Ettins. Hello! So the only thing I'm not sure on is if we can go straight from Tengu straight into a big swarm of Ettins and be fine. But we'll see. Yeah, this is gonna get dicey. I mean, Word of Power is going to keep us going for a little bit here. Okay, Union just went down. Yeah, we can tank it, we're fine. Oh, second Hardened Hump, we can go get a gift. I can finally show what we've been doing this for. Excuse me, I'd like to kill this thing next. Hey, they were fighting Bloodsong as well? So, what has the last hour been for? Well, thankfully when you have to do... Hopefully it doesn't take another hour to get another 2 Hardened Humps. But, as I mentioned, there's different collectors in the game. There's this collector over here, travels around different places every week, acquires different things every week, gives you a maximum of 5 things. We need to give you this. This is going to be my 4th gift of the Traveler for this week. And we got something I don't want. The party items, I guess, are fun and nice to use. Let's say I'm not that keen on them. It's basically just a loot box. Now, thankfully, you may think, oh, how do you know when Nicholas turns up? How are you going to know where he's going to be? Over on the Guild Wars wiki, if you look up Nicholas the... is he Wanderer? Traveler? If you search Nicholas, he'll turn up. You'll also find that there'll be a link to the entirety of where he's going to be for, I think, the next 2 years? Up to and including which expansion he's in. If he's in Prophecies, Factions, Nightfall, Eye of the North, it'll give you the zone he's in, it'll give you the item he's expecting, it'll give you all sorts of fun little bits of information. Which is why I know that in however many weeks he's going to be in the Pockmark Flats, and I think he requires 1 of the eyes from there. So it'll be pretty easy and pretty quick to get through the 5 Gifts of the Traveler then, as opposed to this, which is a bit more of a lengthy process. Obviously there's some areas where it's going to be even longer. Again, if I was running a dedicated like solo farm build, this would be going a little bit quicker, maybe, because we'd get more chances of the drops. But still, this is just sort of like a more relaxed. We're not having to worry about doing the missions, not having to worry about getting the bonus at the same time. This isn't 2 hours and a half of Dunes of Despair. Man, that was a fun one to try and put through the YouTube archive with the chapters. It was like 5 attempts of Dunes of Despair with a span of, yeah, 2.5 hours. But we did it, eventually. After I got rage baited by the henchmen enough times. That's the only downside with the heroes, unless I tell them to, unless I give them the skill to as well, they're not gonna move the spirits closer by recasting. It's okay. We'll go do like group of 4 in a second, then we'll go fight where Glut might be. And then straight back to the hot springs. Like, even if we don't get the humps, we're still, like, we've pulled, what is it, like, 600 gold at this point? Not counting anything we sell, like the feathers. What? Yeah, you're fine. It's a shame that Shadow Song is so expensive in terms of energy. See, again, it loves giving us Etin's Pauldron, it loves giving us the Etin's Hide, but it doesn't like giving us Hardened Hump. Is there only 2 over here? No, there is 3. Glut didn't appear, though. Coward? What sort of a warrior does he think he is? Come get your ass beat for a 5th time, Glut. Maybe it'll be different this time. I don't have to worry about this at all. I mean, it's going to take a little bit longer because I'm all focusing down one at a time, but we already know that these 2 can basically take an Etin and kill it. They can hold off a few Etins themselves. Especially if an Etin decides to fight Bloodsong by the looks of it. Oh, and also if it's been hit by Shadow Song too. Yeah, that Etin ain't doing anything. Oh! Tic-Tac-Toe hit level 18. It's gonna be so strange if I do end up hitting like 19 for Tic-Tac-Toe off of this. Back we go. And then back at it again. Actually, while I'm here, I'm gonna sell off the shield. It's over here. Hello, Luca. Very nice ox. Bison? Bovine of some description. So take this. Yeah, I'm actually gonna keep that. Fun little thing to use if I ever get bored. I just want to basically have some noise in the background and I don't have anything to watch on the second monitor. I'll just turn myself into a rabbit, go to like Lion's Arch and just sit back. No Necrid means we're good to go. I had a friend who goes by the name of Proto Dino. I don't think they stream anymore because they got really, really busy. I think they're in, excuse me, thank you. Star bursting out like that, freak. They're in, I think, the reserves. Anyway, sometimes they do Tarkov streams like 2 years ago-ish. Back when I played through Arma 3's campaign, that was... I don't know if I'd want to re-experience that one. Anyway, sometimes what they would do is they liked the ambience in Tarkov, even if it was just scavs fighting things, or just like the wind, or whatever, right? So instead of doing a normal stream where they would just do raids, they'd go get items, they'd leave, they'd bail out, they'd do whatever they want to do. They would instead, because they'd be doing something and they want the background noise, they'd also be streaming the... Am I not able to get close enough to that Erin thing? No, I'm not. I'm getting body blocked by them all. Let's kill this one then. They would, yeah, they'd just stream, like... I think they'd call it Tarkov ASMR, which is wild. But they do it. And it worked really nice as background noise, because if I had to say nothing else, I would be able to just throw that on and be like, ah, yes. Yeah, that's the sound of a scav getting headshot at, like, the yard. We might not be here for 2 hours. One Hardened Hump. I'm not gonna, again, in the interest of time, we're not going through the Tengu. Especially since I see that's a monk Tengu over there. That's gonna take longer to cut through than usual. All we need is one more Hardened Hump. We can talk to Nicholas, and then it's back in the desert again. And then, because that's not just something I want to do on the side that doesn't really affect the main game, we'll be ejecting my 2 mercenaries, and then we will be bringing the henchmen back in, and then going and lamenting Alessia again and again and again for running around like a fool. I don't know, maybe she has some sort of like touch spell that I'm not aware of, which is probably the case. Would explain why she keeps running up next to me every so often, as opposed to sitting back and healing. I wish there were Ettins down here, but I get it. Skit the Skizzle is a great name. We have one Ettin here. Probably don't have another one. It's probably fighting down by there. Hello, Ettin. I have come to make friends. And by make friends, I mean I want prizes. Come on. Come on. If you give me the hardened... as I say, if you give me the hardened hump, I'll let the other guys live. But you didn't. So that means they don't live. Wisespot says if you read her dialogue, she kind of wanted to be a warrior. I kind of wish the incidental dialogue of all of the party members appeared in the chat, because they all do... their dialogue changes depending on not only who they are. It's not just like generic henchman talk across them all. It's also the areas they're in as well can change what lines appear. I think we caught some of that when we first came to Crater. I think one or... I can't remember who. But one of the henchmen... You know what? Unfortunately, I had to stick to my promise. Even if I didn't get to finish it, I got to kill the rest of these. Yeah, they all mentioned about the death of King Tyrion. Oh, not King... Well, Prince Rurik. Even. I can't remember where King Tyrion's come from. I don't know if I yanked that from a different game or what, but yeah, when Prince Rurik dies, some of the henchmen will talk about it and be like, oh, it's really sad, it's a real shame. And again, I kind of wish that incidental dialogue appeared here in like its own little tab, but unfortunately it doesn't. So a lot of people aren't going to see things like Alessia wanted to be a warrior. I think Tom actually talks about how he's upset that Farah has basically turned on him and is devout to King Adalburn. Because remember we had that quest all the way back in Thermonuked Ascalon. I think it was Farah. Anyway, gave us a quest to hunt down Tom. Yeah, we'll have a look at what that is in terms of rune. Energy +2. It's not that great. I'll take the rune of attunement. It gave us the quest to hunt down Tom, and we found his little cloak that we gave him in Pre-Searing. And Farah's like, yeah, there's no way that rotten coward has died. He's slippery, that one. And then we, found him in Yak's Bend. We got these 2 over here, then we got the other 3 to kill, and then we are just fighting our way back to Nick. But I think I'm right to remember he does have dialogue that talks about how much he regrets how things have sort of fallen into disrepair with his friendship with Farah. I honestly can't remember her name off the top of my head. I swear it's Farah. Yeah, all the henchmen have their own little lines. They'll have, like, surprising amounts of, like, depth to them. But because there isn't an easy way to just keep track of it, you sort of have to catch them saying it. Like, for example, my mercenaries will sometimes spout lines out, but again, that's not going to, like, appear down here. Sorry, hold on. Now that I don't need more hardened humps, you're giving me another hardened hump. What? Why? Why would you... Why? What? Why? Why? Well, if I get another one, I guess I'll just find something to do with it. Hey, Glut! Ready to get your ass kicked one last time? Until the next time Nick appears here, which probably isn't going to be for like 2 years. Still insane and crazy, by the way, that they've planned 2 years in advance when Nicholas turns up. And I don't know if we're going to be seeing Nicholas again in any of the other playthroughs or any of the other streams. I know we sort of do Guild Wars like once a week, or we try to do it once a week. Doesn't mean that Nick is always going to be in a place where I want to go. Or it's going to be somewhere that I'm going to have things that I can easily farm, like, say, Hardened Humps. The Pockmark Flats will probably drop by and say hi, just to sort of curb stomp everything there for the trouble it gave us when we were actually around the right level of that game. But with that, that's the last Etten I want to kill. Let's go back to Bergen for the final run out. Kess says, hirelings having full-fledged dialogue and not copy-pasted one. Not possible in 2026. I mean, you say that. I can't think of a game where you're wrong. No. But again, this leads to the thing that I keep saying, which is that Guild Wars 1 is not an MMO, it's a co-op RPG. And as part of that co-op RPG, things are paid a little bit more attention to detail, like the fact that all these characters over here have unique lines, and they have personalities, and rage bait me all the time. Because I remember how you guys were running around pulling aggro in Dunes of Despair. I'll never forget. That's a Necrid Horseman. I don't want to deal with a Necrid Horseman. They're not dangerous, they're just obnoxious. I'd rather we cycle it through to the other ones so that, like, maybe we end up with more Hardened Humps. That's another Necrid Horseman. This is probably going to look really confusing to the encoder because I can see it, yeah, it's jumping up every single time because I'm changing everything on the screen. Funny. I think we got to fight our way through the skeleton ranges. Yeah, let's do it. Change things up a bit. Kel says they can think of a game that won Game of the Year where the hirelings didn't have dialogue and it was a single-player game. In 2026? Or do you just mean in general? You probably mean in general? I would assume the hirelings would be Baldur's Gate 3 isn't single player, that has co-op. Oh good, the Warlock has come over here as well. £13 of glittering dust. Cass in general was 2023, it was Baldur's Gate 3. Oh, I thought when you said like single player, like as in like at like single player, not like no option for co-op. Which is also why I then discounted Wrath of the Righteous and Rogue Trader. I think Wrath of the Righteous has co-op in it. Or is it just the Rogue Trader was the one that added it in? Ooh, it might just be Rogue Trader added it as co-op. I don't know if there definitely wasn't co-op in Kingmaker. And now I'm second guessing myself on all of them. I don't really care. I mean, it might give me a material I care about. 5 Tan Tides. Yeah, no, that didn't really... Okay. But I didn't use a hireling in Baldur's Gate 3. Do they just not have any lines whatsoever? Like, not even just like, man, it's a good day to be alive, sort of light lines? That's funny if it's true. All that dialogue, all that everything else, and... Actually, I say this, and then immediately I'm reminded of when I got to Act 3 and I was really disappointed that Halcyon didn't have unique dialogue with the... Who died? Who dead? With the druid you can find near the weird house with the zombie in it, or the mummy. Yeah. I mean, those Etins are going to curb stomp that Tengu. Rip Tengu. Oh, here we go. But I think I mentioned it before, sort of just fill the air of just getting to Nick. I'll mention it again. The new Divinity game, I don't know if it's been given a full name yet, so I'm just going to call it New Divinity. I'm curious to see what it has. I'm curious to see where it goes. But I'm expecting it to fall under the same issues that every other Larian game I've played has had. Oh wow, my health is just bouncing up and down at the moment. Oh, I'm actually going to go down. Thank you. We ran sideways there so they didn't get, like, automatic crits into my back. Anyway, yeah, I think it's going to run into the same issues Larian usually have, and I'll be very pleasantly surprised if it doesn't. Which is that Larian tends to make a really, really, really good Act 1, and Act 2 that sort of follows it through, and an Act 3 that then sits there and makes you go, where did the budget go? Like, Act 1 has, like, a lot going for it. It's got a lot of hooks, a lot of interesting story, a lot of interesting characters. It draws you in really well. It's a really fun, really fleshed experience. Fleshed out experience, not fleshed, like, sort of zombie. Deep wounds on a hammer? I'm just gonna sell that, I think. I'm not even gonna salvage it. And then Act 2 usually has some variants to pick up on, like, decisions you may have made in Act 1. And some other interesting things may happen. Some characters may... the characterization and the development of... Well, yeah, that would be characterization, Marwol. But the development of characters tends to be pretty good in Act 2. But then you hit Act 3, and then most of it is solid. But you'll notice pieces and places where it's like, it doesn't quite match the same polish as Act 1 or Act 2. And I'm curious to see if that's going to happen with the new one. Yep, that's all of them. Right, final gift. What have you got for me? 10... Okay, that's actually kind of useful. 10 beers. Not very useful for me right now. Let's go back to Lion's Arch. Let's go make some money. Give me the money! Right. First off, I'm going to sell all my feathers if they're above 250 gold. Hopefully they are. They're probably not, given that the area that's being found right now is scales of 550. Feathers of 470. Jesus. Scales of 550. Wow. I don't need glittering dust. 390 a go. See, this is what I mean. Tanned hide. There's no point selling that. We'll just stockpile it. Stockpile the rest of the materials anyway. Damn. You want a monstrous eye? See, it's a rare material. I'd rather keep it. Ah, here we go. What I was talking about earlier with a favor, that when people obtain certain titles, it extends. So it went from whatever it was before to 13 minutes, so probably added 5 minutes on. Actually, I kind of want to have a look at you. Do I have any runes worth air, minor air? Going for 200? That's... These are functionally useless. Rolls and sickening I'll keep. Yeah, okay. So we made some good money out of this. We made some things I probably don't want. Is there any good dye? Pink is going for a decent amount. Sell the orange as well. If I remember right from Prophecies compared to Factions and Nightfall, money is a lot harder to make in this one. And I think I'm right in saying things are cheaper? Would really help if I didn't yawn mid-sentence there. I think things are cheaper in Factions and Nightfall compared to Prophecies, to the point where if I want another Expert Salvage Kit, I probably should hop to Cantha, buy it there and hop back. But we're not going to worry about that. Instead I'm going to realize I ran away in the opposite direction from the chest. Remove Mercs. Then I need to figure out where I need to go in order to pick up the Monk Secondary Profession quest. And then once we've done that one, I'm going to show you what I'm pretty sure still works as a workaround to just swap your secondary profession regardless of whether or not you've done the quest for it. It'd be funny if it doesn't work and I would just like, oh, I guess that doesn't work, and then we all learn something. I've filled my inventory still. Joy. Why did I just... That's not a material. I could sell those 10 skills. I could sell the 10 skills. I have all these runes and nothing to do with them. Hold on, I have a helmet. Do I have a strength rune? +2 strength non-stacking. I got a tactics. Superior absorption. Superior Shadow Arts. That I'm going to have to keep for the next game. But apart from that, no. Give me the 2. Which one was that one? Where are you? Probably a bad idea. But this is going to drop my health by 35, but give me 2 extra strength. That now has a 100% uptime. Beautiful. We're also now dealing more damage with power attack and Griffin's Sweep. 7 health regen on you. Fantastic. Runes, by the way, are how you sort of get above 12 being the normal... if to borrow a term I think is correct for Dark Souls and FromSoft games, Cass, feel free to correct me here. You have soft caps and hard caps in those games, where I think soft cap is where the putting more points into something stops being so useful. In this game, You can only put points in until you hit 12, but you can go above 12 for attribute if you do things like get an item that raises your strength and a rune that raises your strength. There are also different skills as well, I think, can raise attributes. One that I'm very familiar with, despite never getting it, because I don't know where it is, I just know it exists, is there is a necromancer death magic spell called Aura of the Lich, where it does a few different things. But the first thing it does, or one of the things it does that's relevant here, it raises your death magic by 1. Similarly, the elementalists can also raise their element by 1 by having, like, say, fire attunement or air attunement. So there's different ways they can boost them. Is it 1? It might actually be more than 1. But there's different ways to raise it, is what I'm trying to say. Even if you can only go as far as, like, get the points. See, I've raised it to 12. But it's been modified to 15. Load from template. Really hit the guy. Thank you. Now I just need to figure out what I'm doing with the rest of this. I don't want Mysterious Tonic. Sorry. I don't want a Disco Ball. I will, however, keep the Cottontail Tonic, because I think it's funny. Put that over there. Hardened Hump. Lol. Get rid of that. We'll keep the Shiver Peak key, just because I want to keep it around. I'm actually going to need to get another panel, aren't I? Or sit here off stream and figure out what I'm going to get rid of and what I'm not going to keep. Cass says, in reference to my understanding of Dark Souls and FromSoft games with the stats, soft caps and hard caps is exactly that. Soft cap is when you start getting less benefit, hard cap is the max level. I thought that was the case. Because I forever heard in relation to Elden Ring, you don't raise the vigor above 40, it's the soft cap. And it's like, okay. Whatever that means. I'm sure I'll find out when I eventually get around to it. Yeah, there's probably a lot here that I don't need to keep a sword that's customized, or a shield that's customized, or... There's a lot here I could get rid of. But again, I'll have to do that off stream. I do like all my things, though. Right. Let's try to make some room. Oh, I got bones. I forgot about that. 214 bones. Bones go for, like, no money. You know what I could do? I could actually improve my bag space. That would probably be a great idea. What I definitely need to do, though, is pick up another expert salvage kit. How's my ID kit doing? 53? Yeah, that's fine. Again, I know I should just buy expert identification kits because it works out to be cost-effectively better. Counterpoint, I don't care. ID kit, I don't mind having 100 just in one slot. Because I'm going to ID far more than I'm probably going to salvage. Opposed to salvage, where I'm just going to... I probably do want the cost efficiency on that one. Sorry, not even expert. You know what, let's go have a look at the price of an expert kit. And then really, really judge me. I'm going to assume Amloon Oasis is where I need to go, but I am going to double check a guide in a second. Oh hey, look, the Steam overlay doesn't want to appear again and humiliate me as always. So we can check that in a second. Armor, you're the merchant. There you are. You'll sell what I want. Guesses people do use hard caps for the second soft cap. Yeah, but like for damage buff, right? Oh, superior ID kit isn't on platinum. What? Yeah, I could buy some runes of holding. As funny as that is, I'm not gonna do it. Have a hammer. Okay. Who have I got to bother about a quest? There's a very weird way I have to get to this. The hero's challenge is the attribute quest I need to do. I need to find... Oh, apparently you can do this via profession change in a manual change by the skills and attribute panel to the first, second, original, and then the newly acquired one. Or just complete, like, Monk's Path. Where do I start it? Seeker's Passage. Oh, I actually need to go there for a different quest. Right. Oh, no, hold up. The hero's journey. So let me guess. Hero's journey gets me onto finding all the quests I need. Hero's challenge is the one that comes after it. I see. So it does try to point you in the way of... That's what it means by the desert still has more secrets for you to unlock. It's the other professions. Neat. Also, I fully intend when we beat Prophecies and then Eye of the North that this character will become a mercenary. And then when we beat factions, that character becomes a mercenary. And then when we hit Nightfall, I'm gonna run riot when we eventually get to the point where mercenaries aren't about us. I'm about to run out there on my own. That's a really dumb idea. Is it a dumb idea? I need to do a lot of running. I need to do a lot of running. Oh, but I also need to touch the things in order to zip around. If we go from Augury Rock, it's probably going to be less stressful to get there. Yeah. Because we just need to go this way and then go up, as opposed to that way. Alright. Let's add the, all the suspects back in. Tom, Ryan, Durham, Lena. Ideally, I don't want to change my class until Tic-Tac-Toe hits 20. But I don't think I'm going to have a choice. It wants me to go that way. Which is terrifying. And I'm not going to do it. Straight up not doing it. We're going this way. Do collect. Minotaur. Okay. Also, there's me for like multiple streams saying, no, there's no reason me swapping my skills around to deal with blocking. There's no point. Why would I do it? And then here I am. The new skill bar. 2 anti-blocking attacks. It also means we're not based on degeneration anymore, but part of the reason I wanted degeneration was to help deal with glint, as I mentioned when we did that mission. But now that we've done it, I don't think there's anything else really worth me sort of wasting my time, well, not even wasting my time, focusing that build around. So, them's the breaks. At least my damage output is significantly higher now. You know, we're not relying on damage over time. Bleed and deep wounds can't be passed around anymore. Just, let's be honest, it was a really core part of the build, was bleeding and poison being able to deal as much damage as they did. Best way to go is, yep, just go straight through. So, Marwol, why are you doing Monk's Path and not any of the other professions? There's a two-part easy answer to this. Part 1. I cannot do any of the paths that I have already done, or at least I am. At least I believe that's the case. Let's double check that with Monk. Yeah. So I cannot do the warrior or the ranger path because I am a warrior and I am a ranger. But I am able to do, oh great, I've been blinded. Why'd I do that? I knew it did the dust trap. So that means I can do Necromancer, Mesmer, Monk, Elementalist. Why'd I say it like that? I confused myself. Warrior Ranger's off the table. I can do Mesmer, Elementalist, Necromancer, Monk. Yeah, that is the 4. And of those, Necromancer I wouldn't be able to do much with, because Necro Primary is better for Warrior than Warrior Primary. Because then you get soul stealing. And the 5 minutes of Favor of the Gods, there's no way. I could slaughter everything here to there. I doubt we're going to get anything good. But yeah, Necromancer's better as a primary for Warrior than Warrior being the primary. Right. Okay. Elementalist, kind of in the same boat. There's like one skill that can work with it. I mean, we have energy management through Warrior's Endurance, but that isn't guaranteed for me to always have. Oh my god. I forgot this dumps me like this. Let's fight. News is they're fragile. Bad news is, that's a lot of Mesmers I don't want to necessarily deal with. Cannot get adrenaline. That's nice. Don't you just love Mesmers? Speaking of which, Mesmer. Debatably, I could play Mesmer for a secondary. Imaginary weapon would be kind of interesting to use, because it cannot be blocked, if I remember right. So it would just, by default, get around all blocking issues. I don't think it would dodge or miss or anything like that either. But Monk, for the purposes of solo farming, absolutely perfect. And there's also some really weird, wacky things I can do with Monk. If we go into the smiting area of skills. Or I can just have Monk, and then we have our own dedicated resurrect skill, rather than having tic-tac-toe. Although, I do love tic-tac-toe. Oh man, we're so close to be able to just see it off of the map anyway. Let's go. We have places to be, creatures to kill, and I have to atone for not being holy. Those shielding hands. Shielding hands and protective spirit are the two of the three, I believe, skills I need to solo farm as a warrior. But there's other things I need to do as well, but we won't worry about that just yet. Hello, Sir Norrington. Enjoying the shade? Can a shade really enjoy the shade? Feels like one of those really weird philosophical questions like the trolley problem. I forget what the deal is with bleach bones. Oh right, the story. Hello, rock shots. How nice of you to put down a flame trap as I get here. Wait for that condition. That's another thing as well, is that I probably should have been running, especially now that we know we're not going to hit any warrior elites that I particularly care about. I probably should be running Antidote Signet to remove things. In general, I should have been a lot more fluid with my build design. While we run around doing quests, I don't really think we're going to run into any elite skills that I'm going to want. I say that, I could be completely wrong. But Antidote Signet would fix blindness every time it appears. Oh, granted, I wouldn't be able to get too close after that because Dust Trap, I think, lasts for 9 seconds, and every 3 seconds it reapplies the blind. It is a weird timing. Oh, unless it's getting hit because we're getting hit on both sides. As long as we don't get blinded, we can deal with things here. Oh, hey, look. We got blinded at the end of it, that's fine, right? Why is it 14? Oh, because it's 11 normally, not 12. So yeah, now that I'm not running poison, I could actually just strip out the attributes of wilderness, for example, and then we would have 12 strength. I'm not really going to put anything into swordsmanship, because although it does help our skills, highly salvageable. I'll take the 19 wooden planks. Unless I get a sword that requires swordsmanship 10, which it's possible, but I don't think it's likely I'm going to run into that. There's not really much reason to. Yeah, it does improve some of my damage here with literally 2 of my skills. And it does affect my crit rate. It overall isn't as important as, well, strength. which is every time I use any attack skill, I'm dealing slightly better damage than I would normally, especially against targets that are heavily armored. Because it's percentage. It goes too flat. You know what? I'm just going to run for it. What are they going to do, huh? Scream at me across the sands? Can't stop me. I'm already out. Like that. Alright, who am I going to speak to here? Oh, I just have to travel. So, the world no longer has the fear of the gods. This is the monk quest. I will destroy the demon. You know what? We're going to take this quest as well. Yeah. Bull Strike and Tiger's Fury. Out in the Salt Flats. Well, that's kind of the direction I have to go. To get to Diviner's Ascent, I have to go through the Salt Flats. And you see it was near a teleporter. Probably either this set, or this set. This set lets me get around Hydras, I believe. So, probably going to do that one. But yeah, the Monk's Path. In Diviner's Ascent, we can just jump out that way. But remember, for the Hero's Journey, we also have to go to Destiny's Sword and Hero's Audience. Hero's Audience I found it before because I ran over here trying to find a lizard, and we found it. So we're just going to, well, we're going to jump here first, actually. And then Gastos the Brave, I believe, is a warrior person. You look like you're a Mesmer. You are a Mesmer. You also need me to go to Diviner's Ascent. And then Hero's Audience, where do you want me to go? Which should be Elementalist and Necromancer. That's Elementalist right there. No, you're Necromancer, never mind. Go into the Prophet's Path, slay the Sacred Griffin of Amnun. Oh, that's pretty easy. Marwol has now decided that he's going to do all of these quests because they're all right here. Okay, Yort the Bronze probably isn't an Elementalist. Look at him. Shields up and... Oh, you give Flame Trap. Ceremonial Sword. Look at all these quests I didn't do. Here's me thinking we wouldn't really be doing anything like note here, and this video might not make it to YouTube, and here I am. Here I am. We're gonna do these quests. Okay. Another one on Prophet's Path. But first, the one that matters the most. Actually, we'll do a belated betrothal, because I say it's on the way to where we need to go. Again, we could just go to Alona Reach even, and just hop out, but... This woman needs to know where her lover is, and the ads have just arrived, so... Oh, it's just by there. Actually, I think the faster way is around this way and teleport across. So let's go this way and teleport across. Now, given the stop-start nature of fighting a whole bunch of creatures on the way, good little creatures, we're probably not going to find out the fate of this dead guy for a while. The ads are probably still going to be going for a little bit. But hey, we're good, upstanding Ascalonians. We're going to find out what happened to her beloved, and we're going to right whatever wrong happened. Kind of find it funny my energy can go above 24, unless I have a rune or something, that's not happening. Like, I never have a reason to go above 24. You are so pathetic. You are so pathetic. Orion and... Okay, the others joined in. But Orion and Alessia were soloing you. Mesmers are a joke. Bully Mesmers. Always bully Mesmers. It is morally correct to bully a Mesmer. The Mesmer exists to make you not play the game. So bully a Mesmer every time you see one. You want to cast a spell? Mesmer says no. You want to fight someone? Mesmer says no. You want to have fun? You want to do something? Mesmer says no. Unless you have a Mesmer to defeat a Mesmer, the Mesmer says no. Every time. It is morally correct to massacre Mesmers when you fight them on the field. Look, I'm not allowed to use my adrenaline because the Mesmer said no. Cass says, alright, they're heading off to bed and sleep. Have fun grinding and farming. Oh, the grinding and farming's done. We're doing quests and story things. But thank you for dropping by, Cass. Hopefully I'll see you. I might do a surprise stream tomorrow. Depends how awake I'm feeling after I get back from work. Because there's a few short games I want to get through, and I might just bang through them as, like, well, in one go. We'll see. Like, I mentioned Cave Story earlier, I want to replay that. I've never beaten Hell Run. Never. In all the times I've tried. Oh god, if I go this way, I gotta fight. I can fight 2 Hydra. Send in the cat. The lizard. And then there's other games as well, but hope you sleep well, hope you have a good day tomorrow. Again, thank you for dropping by. Can we hit the giant lizard, please? You know what? You guys are so pathetic, I'm just going to roll the whole party through, even in the state we're in. I am watching the map though, I do see that there's some dots. Oh, there's just more Stormkin. Oh, I don't want to do this though, I don't want to... Tom? Tom? There are 2 Hydras, Tom? I don't want to fight a start. I don't want to fight a start a fight team with 2 Stormkin when there's 2 Hydras roaming in. I don't mind starting a fight with the 2 Hydras already here. Except for the fact that I got chain knocked down, that was pretty okay. Problem is I don't have my energy skill. What is clumsiness? Just don't attack if I get hexed, that's what it is. Sheepy, hello, welcome in. Good morning. Oh, Sheepy says morning for 3 more minutes. Hope you've had a good morning then. Hope you're going to have a good afternoon as well. My cat is dead. My lizard is dead. Bring that back. You've missed the grinding and the really the less enjoyable part of the stream, I think. God, I got 3 Hydras to fight over here. Man, I really picked the fun way through this, huh? Do you want to start regenerating at any point, tic-tac-toe, or do you want to just eat Alessia's skills? Alright, now I have to wait to make sure Alessia is definitely off cooldown for everything. Sheepy says my cat is dead. Well, they're out. No, fine, they'll stick around. I haven't had a cat since we arrived here, actually. Yeah, the cat is okay. The cat lives in... Can I even look at that part of the map? No, can't. It lives in a literal idyllic island. It can do whatever it wants to. Meanwhile, I'm here in this bum-ass desert, fighting this giant fireball spewing lizard. I'm gonna send my lizard to go to hits. Right, here we go. That was a nice meteor. God damn it. I hate hydras. Sometimes we can fight them okay, sometimes we can't. I also have like no energy now because I'm at a 30% debuff. Cwningen might actually be a problem at 30% or 29 death penalty. But not if they run away. I really should have just gone around the bottom actually. I wouldn't have to fight hydras. All I have to do is teleport here. Means doing this. I like how that doesn't look like I should be able to climb up it, but I do. Okay, I can figure out where the last one goes. Hello, Chabar. I know I also, for this entire playthrough, have been skipping through the quest dialogue, but if you are playing this for the first time, you really should read some of this. There's a lot of really interesting things across the board for all the quests. A lot of information and lore you wouldn't necessarily pick up on the first time through. Even just doing the missions. Because the quests give you a lot more context, a lot more idea of what's going on in the world. This, though, is just, hey, give my ring to my wife. Or my fiancé, say, because they were betrothed. That means they were married. Bull strike is quite nice. I hit a moving foe. Let's go. But it only works if they're moving. This, though, very nice. All non-attack skills disabled for 5 seconds, and for 9 seconds I attack 25% faster. Man, that actually might replace I Will Avenge You. Because the reason we have I Will Avenge You is like a, hey, everyone's dead, let's sort of try and get through this alive and see what we can do. Which would work better with a monk, because then you resurrect everyone after they're dead, or after you clear everything. This, though, we can slot in here, and then we can just go Warrior's Endurance, Tiger's Fury, hit something a lot, get a lot of energy back. My non-attack skills are disabled for 5 seconds, which would be Warrior's Endurance, Signet, and Comfort Animal. Oh, yeah, just those 3. So we just do this one first, then this, and then, yeah, well, that's actually a really good idea. Swap it in now. Look at that. We're improving. We're learning. Similarly, I need to check if the creature I need to kill here is an elite that I care about. It is not an elite I care about. So I'm going to take the antidote signet that I keep mentioning. Put that there. And then Wilderness Survival is going to fall out. This will be where an extra attribute point would be really nice, because we could, say, bump this. Doesn't bump it to 10 seconds. Okay, well then, never mind, I guess. Oh, but before we do that, let's go have a look at the... No. It works out better if we do the monk thing first, because then I can show the profession exploit thing that I mentioned. Give me coordinates. Oh! Okay. Yeah, I can get there. Isn't there another one that's over here as well? Prophet's Path. Diviner's Ascent. All the way over there. Prophet's Path. Prophet's Path. Okay. I'm actually really happy that we have Tiger's Fury. I now have a much better non-conditional... Well, it's not really... Yeah, it's not conditional. Attack speed improvement. Yeah, it costs 7, but like... Hello. Again, better damage output. Sheepy says, oh, afternoon. Oh, and afternoon. As in, like, hello and afternoon. Good afternoon, Sheepy. I hope you had a good morning. Hope it went well. Hope it wasn't filled with giant lizards trying to kill you that throw meteors. For all I know, it could have been. Who am I to presume what your local wildlife is like? You would blind me. Well, I'm not blind anymore. Get back here. Stop trying to chase down Orion. Yeah, this is actually a disgustingly good combination. Tiger's Fury with Warrior's Endurance. My damage is slightly improved. My energy is slightly better. Yeah, across the board, that's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, Gilparo Stormstone. I'm not... Fine. When are you lizards gonna learn that I don't care You're not my tic-tac-toe. I don't want you here. Go away. Shuba says they had an interview, they went grocery shopping, now they're home and glad to be indoors because it's humid as fuck outside. You think jumping in a swimming pool or in the ocean would drop the humidity? Don't you love it when that happens? I assume you have like a dehumidifier in your house. Or hopefully you have one in your house. Although I don't know how much it's going to help. Oh look, the Eater of Souls. Oh look, it disappeared. Oh no. I don't want to have to deal with you alongside what looks like it's going to be a bunch of scarab. Oh my god, you're going to be my problem anyway, aren't you? Alright, big boy. Oh yeah, that's what I thought. No. Alright, fine, let's go, big boy. I'm not doing it. I just signated when I didn't need to. As for why I keep saying, oh, I should use the signet thing. Good, it sells for lots. Cleanse myself of poison, disease, blindness, and one additional condition, which means I clear blinded. If I'm on fire, I put myself out. I stop, drop, and roll, and the dust clears my eyes. It's beautiful. Shubia says they have portable aircon, but it's okay inside for now. Yeah, when it gets humid near me, I have a, admittedly, it's kind of small. I think the best way to describe it is, like, it's the size of... Nope, R2-D2 is a bit too big. Imagine something half the size of R2-D2. I use that for... it is a dehumidifier, and that thing, when it's really humid near me, will fill its container in about a day. But it is so much better to have it on than not. Yeah, it does disable Warrior's Endurance. Since I've done that the wrong way, so I definitely need to start on the first. Yeah, look, I can get rid of diseased, I can get rid of anything these guys want to throw at me. This isn't too bad. Yeah, this is fine. Faster attack speed also means we build up adrenaline quicker. How many of these are there? Oh, I'm gonna go down at this rate. Yep. That doesn't help with the cat going down. I need everyone to stop, like, starbursting all over the place, I swear. Problem is, everyone's going to be stacking so much death penalty at this point. It was all fine until, like, that huge mothball of Scarab turned up. This, debatably, is a good quest for farming. Shame I need the monk, though. Wait, no, I don't need the monk. Not through this, anyway. What's the other one that takes place here? Elementalist Drakes. Pushing it now is probably a mistake, but we're gonna do it. We're going to do the Elementalist one. I'm going to abandon the Monk quest and then hand it in to... yeah, I'm going to use the Monk quest for farming. Look at all the money we got there. I mean, yeah, it's been split 6 ways, but that's still pretty good. And then all these enemies are level 21. How much experience are they giving? 20? Yeah. We're going to clear death penalty by the time we get to where we need to be. Shibi says the only dehumidifier they have, unfortunately, also heats up the room by a few degrees, which they don't want. Yeah, that kind of sucks, doesn't it? It basically is doing... it. Yeah, that's functionally changing nothing. Oh boy. Oh boy. Of course there's Hydra. Why wouldn't there be Hydra? That means I gotta punch through these drakes down here before those Hydras patrol back. So we gotta go fast. I don't want to take on 4 at once. Oh, maybe? No, we can't slot the gap in between. We gotta fight through. We gotta punch through. Okay. This is not where I want to be. Let's see one down. This is back. So the problem is they can just AoE like this and it takes us all. Okay. Change of plans. Go back to a loner reach. It clears all the problems. It means I can also abandon Monk's Path. And then we go back out and we do the Elementalist. What a great plan, Marwol. Thank you. Thank you, voice at the back of my head. I do have some good plans sometimes, don't I? Now, no, Marwol, let's not get ahead of ourselves. You are an idiot sometimes. But this is a good plan. Okay. So yeah, we teleport, and then we're just gonna, like, skirt around that problem right there. And all will be okay. Yeah, I could use that monk quest to do some pretty good farming, I think. I just need to figure out a way to get through that last bit without having much issue. I don't know if the setup I had for farming the Etins, or I should say the, oh, what's it called? Neboteris. I don't know if that setup would be very good at that. One. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's that one. This one. Yes. Oh, it's Mesmer's path. Not Elementalist. Oh, I know a way I could actually farm that last bit pretty easy. I need a death magic necromancer. And they would just sit there and make minions. And then if we overwhelm them with numbers, we've got nothing to worry about. Ooh, 2 things have improved sale value. Okay. Alright, so we want to try to fight Sandrakes maximum 2 at a time. Get over here. Pull back. I absolutely miss my heroes. Okay, next. We wait. Everything needs to be healed. So then Alessia has all of her energy and she isn't waiting on anything on cooldown. 5, 4, 3, 2. My energy is fine. My energy is managed by my ability to hit an enemy. Sort of slot the gap here. 2 Sandrake up ahead. That's going to be another dicey fight. Okay, and then I'm going to go fight this one. Problem is, ward against melee means it sometimes blocks me. Shibia says their energy is managed by proximity to Kitty, which died. Do you mean, like, the kitty in the game, or did you actually, like, lose a pet? Oh my god, they're all just there. Oh no, this is where it's Mesmer. You need to be able to interrupt them, right? Oh god! Okay. I think we can win this. But it's gonna be... Yeah, that is definitely a group. Shibia says any kitty, but in this case it'd be the one in my game. Oh, that's a lizard. Unless you call it like a scaly kitty, in which case, yeah, it dies a lot, unfortunately. Because I send it in to eat the hits that I don't want to eat. Case in point, it's gonna go fight that lizard. Alright. I gotta do this. I'm gonna do this quick. Okay, if they're that fragile, this isn't too bad. 1 down. Oh, they're also elite, so every time I kill one, they're gonna refresh my skills. Why was I worried? This is way easier than the other one. Right, Mesmer's path is complete. So, we go handed in to, what was your name? Eulenius. Eulenus? Eulenius. Right. I can now talk to Eulenius and become a Mesmer. However, that would remove my pet, and I don't want to level up Tic-Tac-Toe again right now. Level 18 is a bit of a shame. I wish he was higher. But, we're going to do a tangent again. We're going to go do an exploit. Well, not really an exploit. We're going to go somewhere. We're going to go to the Great Temple of Balthazar. Except I'm then immediately going to go to the Zaishin Menagerie. This is for Sheepy. The exploits we'll get back to in a second, but it does require the Great Temple of Balthazar. So. I like animals. I want to see the menagerie. Let me in. So by appearing here, we've been here once before. I don't remember where Cat is. But if we run near all the Master of Winds, I probably will find it eventually. But if you are a ranger, or you have a ranger profession, if you get a pet, I think it can be any level, we're about to find out. You can have it, rather than selling it for a absolute pittance of it is genuinely horrific that it's like 100 gold or whatever. Hi, I rubber band you for no reason, thank you. The better thing to do is to actually hand it in here at Zaishin Menagerie. Keep stumbling on the word menagerie. There we go, it's all the way up here. Excuse me? You can't... Do you need a line of sight? Yeah, I thought you did. And any animal you turn in here will then be... I think there are limits. I think there's like... It rotates, but animals you turn in here will roam. You can then pull out an animal of any sort of variation. Look at that! There's even little cubs! Got big kitty and little cub kitty. Oh. Actually, that's probably a case of as pets evolve and, you know, from regular to everything else. Dire, Tic-Tac-Toe, I think, is normal. Yeah, normal, I think. They sort of grow. Chiba says give pats. Unfortunately, I can't. The best I can do is like run up to it and just be like... That's not what I wanted to do! Reggie! I'm just gonna leave. I didn't think we'd do that. I'm genuine. I didn't think that would happen. I thought it would be set to a friendly NPC that we couldn't attack. It's the exact opposite of what the fuck I wanted it to do. We're also getting really far away from where I want to be. So what we're going to do is go back to here, and then we're just going to re-enter like nothing happened. Sheepy says I'm a monster. I didn't do anything. There's no proof, there's no evidence. That cat is fine. I think. But yeah, we're gonna walk over here to Emerid the Tamer. Yeah, 100 gold for any level 20 pet is horrific. It should be 1 platinum, honest, or like something more than 100. We've added the level 15 evolved Hearty Lizard and expanded my collection to also include all lower level visions and evolutions of the Hearty Lizard. So that means I can pull out Tic-Tac-Toe. He won't be level 18, he'll be 15, but it means I won't be going from level 5 again. However, I'm doing this because we're going to swap our profession through questionable means. We can also expand our collection by bringing more highly trained level 1. Yeah, that's fine. Yes, I really do. Take Tic-Tac-Toe. Now, what she means by all the different ones of different training is if I walk over here to the training captain, I want to see an animal with a specific evolution from Tyria. I want a... I love how it's just lowercase. Dune Lizard. And I can now pick any of these that I want to. 12 Elder, Playful, Aggressive. 15 Elder, Playful, Aggressive. Hearty or Dire. So we can change the damage and health values of our lizard if we bring it back. However, we're here for something different. We're here for professions. Now, we've ascended. We are the chosen one. Like everyone else. But that means I can walk up here. Go to this profession changer. Now remember, I haven't really spoken about this. The Right Temple of Balthazar is actually a PvP area. If you decide to make a PvP character, you appear over there in the Isle of the Nameless. And then you come over here into the Great Temple of Balthazar, and then you can go ahead and do whatever you want to do in the different the arenas. The profession changer over here, though, for a one-time fee of 500 gold, can teach me a new secondary profession. You may notice I have access to Assassin, Ritualist, Dervish, and Paragon. Factions, and Nightfall. However, in the main campaign, the only ones I can access are Mesmer, Necromancer, Elementalist, Monk, alongside my Warrior and Ranger. Once you become Ascended, you don't have to do those quests. You can just come here, pay 500 gold, and unlock a thing. So in this case, I want Monk. After we change up, we would use any abilities of the current one, so we return and change profession again. To further appreciate you, we need to learn new skills. You show yes, make me a secondary monk. And now I can go into here, and I can now hot swap between these two. Absolutely free. Right? And now if we go back to Lion's Arch, and now we can go and accept our fate of Mesmer, because we've thrown the lizard on the island to be with the cat. Hello. Make me a Mesmer. And because we did it this way, it actually does give us some starting skills, kind of, sort of. In that, I believe you get the ones you would start with if you began the game as a... Yep, that looks about right. These are the ones you would begin with if you were Mesmer at the start of Prophecies. However, we don't care. We came for Monk. Which does have, again, some of the basics. What if I get Resurrect for free? I do get Resurrect for free. Very nice. Now, with all that said, we're going to load from template, really hit the guy. I need to change this to Tiger's Fury. Change this to Enter Signet. No, because we're going to be going through the Shiver Peaks, aren't we? Yeah, we're going to be going through the Shiver Peaks. Sheepy says they're reporting the stream to Twitch. Where's the option for perfectly normal gameplay mechanic? I believe you just keep flagging me for like different things. Twitch will eventually just get fed up and probably ban me outright. I think that's how spam reporting works. if this was 2012. But unfortunately, I don't think there's anything for. I asked him to pet a cat, and he instead massacred it on the spot. She also asks Daniel Jackson, oh, for like changing profession. It's funny you mentioned that. I am rewatching Stargate SG-1, or I should just call it SG-1. And I'm almost done rewatching the first season. I've just finished the episode where they find out about alternate realities. Sheepy says for Ascension. Yeah, doesn't Daniel Jackson, like, ascend twice or something stupid like that? I know it's, like, multiple times Daniel Jackson appears, disappears, and it's, like, for all sorts of really weird, bizarre reasons. I think he does, I know he ascends at least once, it might be twice. I wouldn't be surprised if he ascends 3 separate times. If I remember right, there's one time where he comes back, no, not him. Somebody else ascends and then comes back, but they come back as a child, so they start losing their personality and memories because the child's brain is too small. And eventually they become a normal human child, but I can't wait to get to the later seasons where I start seeing the Daniel Jackson Ascension yo-yo. Available now at all participating stores. Anyway, I have a bunch of other quests we can probably do some other time. Right now, though, we have to go to the hero's journey in Hardened. Actually, no, we don't. I've switched back to Ranger. I need to change that to Charm Animal, I believe. We need to go back to the Zaishen. And I need to pick up my lizard again. Tic-tac-toe is going to look a little bit different. I like animals. I wouldn't hurt one, I promise. Hello. I want to see a dune lizard with the dire. And look at that. These are all dire dune lizards. You see that Tic-Tac-Toe has considerably less health. 500 before. Part of that is down to the level. Most of it is down to the fact it is now dire. Deals more damage, but it takes less. I forget what your deal is. Oh, you can tell me where all of the animals are. For example, Raven. If they become aggressive, they learn Slash. That's actually kind of good to know. What's your deal? How many animals have I collected? 2! I've collected two animals. How many animals are missing? Lots. At some point when I might off-stream just run around and get a bunch of animals. Just literally run up and go, ha! You're coming with me! And we'll just see how that goes. They'll probably hate me, but that's okay. That's a price I'm willing to pay. Let's go hand this quest in. But given that this has been a very mechanically in-depth, I'm gonna say with very big quotation marks, stream, I kind of want to leave the main story of oh hey, you're wearing a costume. I kind of want to leave the main story stuff for next time. Oh, I like this. She calls out the player for not talking to the ghosts, except we spoke to every ghost there. I've got the quest to prove it. Your aura is radiant, aided by the spirits of the desert. You can learn any profession, master any skill, but there are yet many more untapped reserves of power. Go to the frozen forest from the iron mines of Moladoon and seek out their sister Sani, who will help you unleash the power. Find your sister, and that requires me going to... Oh my god, no, I'm not fighting my way through here, through the ice dome into here. That is just not happening. I'm not doing it. I refuse. I will find another way here. Where have I got to go for seeking the seer? That way. That's a lot more understandable. So, we're going to end this stream the same way we did last time, which is, I'm actually going to go out here and we're going to look out over the icy fjords. Yeah, this stream was more just a case of, hey, I want to farm a few things to get traveler stuff. And yeah, then we got a secondary profession out of the way. So now we can go next time, eventually get the 15 missing attributes, which we'll allocate those as we need to. I might also off-screen getting the monk stuff, because that just means going to a skill trainer and buying skills, or hunting them down with a signet of capture for the elites, but I'll decide on that one closer to the time. But I still enjoyed this. I understand if a lot of people probably didn't, because this wasn't just like story and missions, and we didn't really make any progress outside of, hey look, here's how you can swap professions, and here's another way you can swap professions to get to professions you wouldn't normally have access to. Outside, well, you kind of have to own... Well, now it doesn't matter, because Guild Wars Reforged comes with Factions Nightfall, but I guess what I'm saying is this has been a very fun, not serious expedition. Sheepy says Narf.